Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Real 1%. It's Michael. I got a special guest, Mo, with me today. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Michael. How you doing?
Amazing. If I was bad, no one would care, and someone would be glad it's me. So I'm not even going to tell you if I was doing bad. So I'm awesome, even if I got to fake it. So hey, we're back. We're back at you guys with another episode of Military to Civilian, the last assault. Your last mission, the mission that's really not talked about too much when it's time for you to get out, unless you got some people in your corner that are talking about the game plan for this. So, if you don't mind, for the viewers out there, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, give a little bit of background, where you're from, if you want to talk about that, and why you joined the military, and then just bring us to when you started thinking about transitioning out the military. You can touch on anything that you want to as well in the military if you want, but the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting Mike and his wonderful podcast. So my name is Moji Sola Edu, and I am a conduit of healing. I am 100% disabled Army veteran. Shout out to all my vets
Hey.
and all those who continue to serve and who are allies serving and supporting, our amazing military. And their families also. That's one thing that sometimes we forget is the families. They also participate with us going through these different transitions, right? I served in the Army from 2001 to 2005. I'm a former displaced homeless veteran. Also, right now, I have She Wins on conference. It's a conference that I do mostly every year, focusing on women and supporting them through their journey. Some of them are veteran women. We do scholarships to help, and also send scholarships for kids that are in tech. Pushing forward in the tech environment because it's much needed. Because we won't surpass tech. Tech might surpass us.
It's already going. AI is already taking wins. You're right. Absolutely.
Exactly. And I also do strategic consulting for the DC Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. I also, in 2018, 19, wrote a proclamation honoring women veterans in DC, which is coming up again in October. We're going to be focusing on wellness and really working through the different layers of multi-layered trauma, and especially trying to combat and do a lot of prevention on suicide prevention and just mental health in general, from the pandemic, and those who never had access to have help or identify that they are dealing with mental health issues. I also am a sought out veterati transitioning mentor. I've helped a lot of veterans get their benefits and just find out and navigate the game we call life, because sometimes it's hard. You think you could do it, and some things, but then you get in there and you're like, what is happening? So, with a little bit of help and a little hand holding, you're able to find your way and find what makes you happy and helps your family and you. Um, I also have worked with soccer teams, helping them with wellness, and helping them change their mindset on and off the field. I've worked with the soccer team academy out in Alexandria. And also, I'm working with the team in Arlington. I also teach. I'm a 500-hour yoga teacher and a Reiki master doing energy work. I also am working right now to be a future yoga therapist to help in clinics to help patients to deal with the core of what exactly the problem is. A lot of Western medicine is telling us to use a whole bunch of medication, especially with veterans. There are a lot of us who say, take the Motrin, and then, we got ulcers and all kinds of issues to drug us up. So trying to find an alternative, if we can find, because a lot of this, as we've done research, is tied to stress or traumatic episodes in our life that we never got opportunity to process emotions. So they get stuck into our muscles and in our bodies, and we develop sicknesses and illnesses. If we can combat that, I believe in prevention. Cure is an amazing thing, but if we can prevent it, that's where I'm trying to be. So working to just change people's lives one day at a time. And I'm also a certified life coach. So my transition,
Hold on a second. You gonna hey, Did y'all? I mean, obviously no one's live, but man, she just said about a million things in about what, like 4 minutes. So like, hopefully y'all got all that. Had your notepad out. You know what I mean? Because at first she said she was like displaced, aka homeless, if you want to put it like that. But we're gonna touch. I can't wait for her to touch on that. I'm not gonna spoil it. But like all that other stuff that you just said, amazing. That's awesome. I mean, I'm sure you feel great about. You love helping people. And I mean, I know we talked a long time ago about the EBV or the dog tag bakery. That's when we first initially like talked like a couple years ago. So
Yeah.
you've been grinding and going through it. So like that's awesome. And I just want to say I love hearing when other veterans say they're 100% and they're not ashamed to share that and they're not ashamed to talk about it, because I got out with zero and it took me 5 years to get it. And you shouldn't be ashamed to say that. And you're not lying. We're not on here telling anyone to lie. But if you went through it, you should get compensated for it. So I'm gonna get you back on. Go ahead. I just want to say that real quick.
No, I appreciate you. I'm also an award-winning media personality. I've interviewed Denzel Washington, Kevin Hart, a whole bunch of different people, but it was fun, but my thing is, my calling and my purpose in life is to help people see the light that lies within them so they can generate it out to touch others.
Okay.
And what you was talking about, it took you 5 years. Like it took me, I think it took me 12 years just to get 10%. The first part was I didn't want, okay, so some people, the new age of transition is different, right? From when back in the day when we were coming out, right?
Yeah, I gotta talk to some more newer people, but I don't know. I guess it depends on which way, and I don't know. It's all hypothetical but it probably is. Go ahead.
So it depends on if it's officer heavy, because sometimes some places officer heavy, they get more access to certain things that as if you're enlisted. I'm not going to assume that you were enlisted, but I was enlisted at the time. So we were divided. You had some officers and stuff. So even though when you go through TAPS is supposed to almost provide you with some of the things like dog tag does, navigating, doing all that stuff. But any NCO, any higher up can sign off and said you did it.
You did, yeah. You're on your own if you're E5 and above. Hey, you're good.
You're good.
You can do this right. But did you know that they had? I never knew that they had an executive level TAPS. Like you said, it is divided. Why is this only offered to a sergeant? You're the same. You should be able to offer that to a private too if they're getting out. You know what I mean? So absolutely right. You're absolutely right, though. It is divided.
And it's sad, but this is how some of these hierarchies are,
Right.
And it depends. And we're not going to say, and I'm gonna retract that. I'm not going to say new age transition. Now there's more opportunities than I had when I was coming out.
There you go.
I was actually forced out, not even knowing that I was out, during my time period. So when I was in there, I hurt my second metatarsal in the military at a we were doing like some combat stuff for Hood or whatever, and found out I had asthma and all these different things, right? And I also was married, pregnant, had a broken foot, whatever. And during that time period, I guess during that time they assumed that maybe I was a liability or something. And I found out from one of my NCOs that they were shredding my paperwork. They were shredding my paperwork.
What kind of paperwork were they, like counselings or all your medical? Or what?
All of my stuff. They were shredding my paperwork without my awareness. Come to find out, I found later on some people in the old time they were doing some of this stuff to some people, or sometimes people's paperwork were in the rafters up in the ceilings. They open them up and some people's paperwork comes falling out.
Oh, check the rafters, y'all. If you look at your record, check the rafters. Go back to your training room and check the rafters.
So I found out from one of my amazing NCO is still, a mentor and a guide. She grabbed what she could at the time. And even so before then, I had went to go see one of my NCOs. I'm not going to mention any names. And I was like, I was going and doing medical board. I didn't even get a chance to finish medical board because it was getting kind of worse. But I was still doing my duties, doing everything like a soldier should. Because, our mentality is, keep going. It doesn't matter what's going on. They got us brainwashed that it's only mental. It doesn't happen in the body. It's just a mental thing, ignore it.
Yeah.
Just keep on going, right? So I'm in there and I'm, doing what I gotta do, but I'm also pregnant at the time. And I go and I say, hey, to my NCO, I close the door and I'm telling him, I was like, look, I'm trying to do my medical board and all that stuff. He's like, oh yeah, we can pay you 22,000 or something like that. You don't need to, I said, no. I said, this is going to affect me for the rest of my life, because I don't know how my body, I'm young at the time, but I don't know how this is going to affect me moving on in the future. So he's like, oh yeah, if you really want to help me, so he tried to, do something with me, and I tried to get out, and then he kind of like pushed me against the door. And he was like, oh, nobody's going to believe you if you say anything or whatever. And I was like, so I pushed him and I got out, but it just felt like the door was like so far away at that moment. And I was kind of just in shock because you always respect your leaders, right? At that time. So in that moment, in that time, I felt like I couldn't trust anybody. I felt like I couldn't trust anybody in that unit. I couldn't trust anybody. Everyone was a liar at that moment in that time. Right. And all I was in survival mode. We're always in survival mode. But in that time, I felt like if my own people can do this or try to play me in that point, I felt like try to play me in that point, then what's the purpose? So my NCO saw me acting a little weird and stuff. I kind of was like not the same. I put it EOM report in, but end up being missing at that time. And I was like, okay. So I'm just kind of like just kind of off at that time. I'm going to my appointments, but I don't know. I'm like in limbo, about like what's going on with me. Come to find out, they're shredding my paperwork, and then my NCO gets some stuff. I get a letter. Actually, I didn't even get the letter that I was separated. She said, "Did you know you were separated?" I was like, "What?" Nobody sent me nothing. No one did any, proper protocol or procedures.
Yeah.
And I was young at that time, and at that point I was just like, excuse my language, I was like F everything, right? I was like, forget everything.
You didn't even say nothing wrong yet. You got to say the whole thing. If you're going to
at that point I was like, fuck everything at that point. I was like, forget it, right? So I never got a chance to go to medical board. I saw this memorandum, this paperwork or whatever, and I was like, wow. I was like, all my life was banking on this, this career, and I just got robbed without me even knowing. And just because, I'm trying to, defend myself. So now I'm like, okay, so I didn't even her. She was trying to look out for me. I didn't want to talk to her either. Luckily,
not at that point, like you said, you got shut down by everyone. You think everyone's against you. Absolutely.
Exactly. So now we go into defense mode. So everything. So there's fear, there's worry. Am I getting backlash? Are these people about to put me, like what is going on? Because they can do whatever they want to you,
Absolutely.
And so then she eventually finds me again. I think through like back then we had MySpace, and then she connects with me again, and she's like, I got your paperwork, I printed it out. I want you to file for your disability. I was like, disability? I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what is disability, and where do I even go about doing? Would they even believe? Like, why does my service even matter? At this point, I don't even care. I'm like, mentally, the military does not exist anymore to me.
Yeah.
Skills and everything and all that stuff, hyper vigilant, all these different things are still ingrained in me, but it doesn't exist anymore at this point.
Yeah.
I have toned anything that I saw that was military kind of made me, it was kind of disgusting to me at a point, right?
Yeah, no, I have similar feelings as the military. Now it's funny that you say that you broke your foot, because I broke my 5th metatarsal in Afghanistan. But I had stuff going on. I had something similar to you. I didn't have anyone shredding my records, but I didn't have anyone looking out for me, and I felt like I was against everybody in my unit as well when I got out. So that's definitely not how you should ever leave the military. And I'm sorry to hear about all that happened with you, because that shouldn't happen to anyone. Nor should it happen to someone that you're serving alongside with, that you're supposed to be putting your life on the line for someone. You get pinned up or just treated like absolute garbage. And you know what I mean?
Facts.
Like who puts paperwork in the rafters or like shreds someone's paper? Like that just shows you how sorry people are. Because when I was at my first duty station, I had nobody. We had no problems at Fort Campbell. Thank you, 129. It was great, right? It was not that bad. When I got to Germany, I really found out that there are really evil people in the world and everything's infiltrated, because you just have people that are in the military wearing the same uniform as you are, but they're not even looking out for you. You know what I mean? Like that's not what we all joined the military for. So sorry. How'd you even learn about MedBoard when you were in? Because you said you were young. Like what made you think about that? Did someone tell you about it?
No, when I was going there and I got the injury and they gave me the permanent profile, they were the one that suggested this whole MedBoard thing. I still wanted to continue my process to
ETS. I did the same thing. I went to Fort Carson with 11 months left, and they're like, "Hey, you know, we could probably get you in for like a MedBoard process." I'm like, "Man, I got 11 months, dude. I'm trying to get out ASAP. I don't care. I don't even know what that is." So it's like, I don't know, but
I felt like they kind of pushed it on me. But before they even did that, they were like, "Oh, you could take this little lump sum of money and just forget about it."
Yeah, someone else said the same thing, because they want you to do that because they don't want you to get paid, like you said, for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, "Oh, you're gonna give me this? It's like a payoff. You shut your mouth and never talk about it again."
Yeah.
But then you can't walk, you can't do nothing. You got all these other issues, right?
Oh, yeah, it's not gonna work out for you. So how long did your NCO wait to hit you up on MySpace? You were still in or already out?
No, I was already according to the paperwork, I was technically out, right?
Yeah. So what happened when you found out about the paperwork? Like, what'd they say? Like, you were out the next day, or like, what'd you do about clearing base?
I was just out. I was like trying to report to dude. They was like, "Oh, you out?" So no, and then no one did a follow up. No one said so. I just was like, I'm in the wool. I was like, this is where my income was. I had nothing. I had no money.
What duty station were you at?
I don't want to mention it, right?
Okay, don't even mention it. Don't even give them nothing. But it don't matter. I guess
I don't want to mention it, but yeah, my battle buddies, that's out there, they know where we was at. So
heck yeah.
And some of them, I love them though. They might have had not known, why I was acting a little distance, but some of them know, some of my story. But at that time, I didn't even, know what was going on with me. At that point of me dealing with PTSD from that incident, I kind of blocked everything out,
Yeah.
And then I also was dealing with, an abusive marriage at that time. So I ended up, because of all this whole situation, I ended up getting a divorce and being a single mother, with a child at a young age, trying to and then I became homeless because there was no resources. At that time, no one gave me any guidance. I didn't know anything about the military one source, none of that stuff. I had no access to any resource. I was just out here just blind.
And so what did it look? I cut you off, but what did it look like from you, like leaving the base, like your last day? Like they didn't, like whenever they told you, you said, "Hey, you're separated." They probably told you just don't come back, or like, and that was that, or what?
There wasn't even like a talk. I was, like I said, I was at home at the time, wherever I was staying at. And like I said, like I had no, people get a proper transition, they sign some paper. I didn't sign anything.
You get your award. I didn't get nothing either. Yeah, they just throw you
nothing.
Out. Oh man.
It almost felt like I didn't even exist anymore. So everything this guy was telling me about, oh, nobody's good, you're not going, like, you don't exist. So it happened to it happened. So it seemed like this was their plan, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know all the backstory and stuff. So I'm just like, wow, so I never existed. So when people would say, oh yeah, your military service, I felt ashamed. And that's not just me. I felt like there's a lot of veterans that I work with and helping them to heal. They feel ashamed. And there's this whole hierarchy. Like if you didn't serve in a certain era, if you didn't do a certain capacity, if you weren't in combat, if you were a cook, if you were this or whatever in the military, it doesn't matter, because the Hollywood glamorizes being a soldier, this sparkly, wonderful thing, badass. Yes, we're all badasses. We signed our life away on a dotted line.
Absolutely.
We're badasses to different capacities because we continue to serve outside of the military. If you see most people that serve, they're still in some form of service continuing on, right?
Absolutely.
So and for a second, I just want to let know every veteran out there, I don't care what capacity you served in, where you served, how you served, your service matters. I don't care if you did 1 year, you did 5 months, your service matters. You sign that dotted line, and all those things that happened to you, that before, you were a regular person, and then getting into there, and things changed in your life. It's not your fault. Okay, just remember that it's not your fault. So yeah, going through all of that. I told you early on a side note, I said every time I watch Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith and his son, I used to cry. I don't cry anymore because I remember when I was homeless with my daughter and I just wanted to catch some sleep. I had to go in the Burger King bathroom and just close the door so I could just take a nap real quick. So then I can, figure out the next place I can go, because the shelters at that time, would tell you only have a certain period to like lay, and then you had to get out, then come back later. So yeah, it was rough. And my daughter, when she got a little bit older, we would go through the train station. I would like jump over the train because I would walk through the gate because I didn't really have money. And
Yeah.
then my daughter, where they show the apartment little catalogs or whatever, my daughter would pick it up and she was like, "Mommy, we're gonna have our own place," and I would just cry. I would be
Yeah.
like, I would just cry. I was like, I don't know the next place where we're gonna stay. I don't know where we're going to eat or whatever, but we're gonna make it. Oh my god, I feel like tears are coming.
Sure,
But
I'm
yeah,
about to. Yeah, I mean, that's mood.
yeah,
That's like an
yeah,
emotional thing, and I don't.
yeah,
That's. I don't know. More power to you for doing everything you could for
yeah.
you and your daughter and getting through it. So, it's a great story to touch on and talk about. But I wouldn't, wish that on anyone. I'm glad you made it.
Nah,
You made it out, and you're doing your thing now. You on to way bigger and better things. So,
yeah.
what helped you get out of that? What helped you like? What was the motivating factor or whatever helped you to get out of your homelessness?
My daughter, like me, if it was just me, I'd do whatever I have to do, to
Yeah.
survive. But for my daughter, I was like, man, I'm in charge of somebody else's life right now, and it's like, if we're in a mission, you're in charge of other people, whether it's your soldiers or just your battle buddy. Like, this is somebody else's life,
Right.
and they didn't ask to be here, so I have to do everything in my power to make sure that she's okay and she's stable.
Right.
And there was a bit of savage in me. The savage part of me, I told my therapist at one time when I was dealing with there, I was like, I said, I turned into savage mode.
You
I
got to.
I had to survive with at all means, no matter what I had to do in order to take care of my child. So it was my child. My child saved my life, because maybe I could have been in jail a couple of times, but she saved my life, and I did everything I needed to do. I worked like double hours at like IHOP. I used to have to walk because I didn't have a car. Walk to this daycare, this nanny that I was helping to watch her. Sometimes she had to stay there where I would work overtime. So yeah, I had to do a whole bunch of different jobs. And then eventually, I met some good people. Got a little stable place, and I just kept on. I kept telling God, I said, look, if you get me where I need to be, I said, you know what? I don't, I won't worry about anything else. Just get me into it. Because most things that people want is just a stable roof over their head. Once you get a roof overhead, cars you can get later, you can get transportation, but just having a roof over your head means a lot. So I went down. Somebody, one of my veterans told me about CRRC, where I could get a voucher for housing. I went there. Yeah, I told them my story with my daughter. They got me a voucher. They told me look for a place. I found a place in a short period of time. Got in there with my daughter, and my daughter was just so happy. Like, she had a smile on her face, and and homelessness is. Yeah, there's a quote that says, "Life is about the journey. It's not about the destination." We don't know where life's going to take us, but we have to trust the process. And even though we get thrown into the wolves, we know how to survive, right? That's one thing the military taught us, is how to survive.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. You're right.
So yeah, once I got out of that, I stayed there for a little bit, and I continued to help veterans, and I taught in schools too. And my thing was, my mission was to never have any veteran, or at least veteran and their families, people that had kids, not to ever be in a situation where I was without any resources. So I researched and vetted different organizations to make sure that I had a list of resources for veterans. Because sometimes when you're dealing with mental issues, you don't have the mind frame to go and look at these different places. It's too much. You
Yeah,
know,
they don't even. Yeah, they're not even thinking about Googling who can help you, even though it's
exactly.
right at your fingertips. They got something. They're trying to worry about making sure they're gonna make it through the day.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And then they can walk into the VA. A VA person could just trigger them and say, hey, you got to wait in line, or you don't matter at this moment. We're taking care of this. That could trigger somebody, and then somebody, dies the next day. So how can we change somebody's life? And it's not what we say, it's the way we say it, because these people are dealing with different issues. So after that, I just kept on pushing, and then I got myself off the ground, and then one of my veteran sisters said, "Hey, it's time for you to get your house, right?" I said, "I can get a house? How?" And I was like, and I had been already fighting for my disability. I wasn't getting it. Man, I kept going there, kept going there. I was researching, getting all my paperwork. That same year when she told me to get a house, my 100% came in. That same time I went and got my house.
Life changing.
I saw that and I went, I said, you know what? Let me get a house for my child.
Yeah, you're
And
ready now. Then you got
yeah,
that. You're ready now. I'm good now.
I said, let me get the house. But I mean, some people get caught up. They think that, oh, just because you get the disability, oh, it's a whole bunch of money. No, not with this economy.
Not too much. It's not that much, especially you live in like Florida, California. You're not
Yeah,
that much. I mean, you're not. It's not. It is life changing thing for all the other
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, it's not just something to say. Oh, I'm good for life now. So
yeah. So I think that misconception and stuff, but it did give me the stepping stone to get, a little place for myself, for me and my daughter. And then I ended up getting married again, and finding the love of my life. So there is hope, you know, within the transition. It can be rocky, because if you have no one, and then if you're dealing with trust issues or trauma, it's hard because mentally you're not there. Also, programs like Dog Tag and Cornell program. Another one that helped me out was Challenge Aspen, the Camo program, which I'm ambassador with. They send you out there to do adaptive skiing and a lot of mental health stuff. They help me out a lot. So there's so many different programs that if you take advantage of can definitely help you. And understanding healing, the most courageous thing you can do as a person is to decide to heal. And it's not an overnight thing. Every day we're still healing. I'm not perfect. Every healer needs a healer. Every therapist needs a therapist. Okay.
yeah,
Everybody that's doing service work needs somebody to help them. It's not easy, and we can't do it
absolutely.
alone.
So
Yep.
it took you about 10. How long did it take you from ETS till 100%?
Maybe 16 years.
Hey, props to you for not giving up. That's the one thing. You gotta be persistent. Sometimes it took me 6, but it's like if you don't start, you'll never get it. And like a lot of people do get discouraged when they go to the VA and they get told something that might trigger them. But it's like you gotta just swallow your pride and just take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Like you can go to work the rest of your life, but you gotta carve out time to take care of yourself too. You can't just say I gotta work all the time. Well, you're in the wrong job then, because if you're working for someone and you try to take care of yourself, like through the VA, they should understand that and give you the time. At least that's what my thoughts would be on it. I know not everyone's created equal, and some people just don't care. But yeah, props to you for not giving up and getting going full circle on them. You know what I mean? Like you go from getting your paperwork shredded to getting treated like garbage, and then you like, you know what? No, I'm gonna do that. That pretty much would have counted most people out and would have put a sour taste in their mouth from the military, right? They're like, I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to talk about it, but you took full advantage of what was there for you, so I applaud you for that. So nice work.
Well, thank you, and thank you, and thank you to others that are out there being advocate. One thing about this whole process is you got to be your biggest cheerleader and your own advocate. I know it's hard. I know it's frustrating. I know it takes a lot of time, but you can't give up on yourself. You can't. And you have to speak to others, get into groups, ask for help. There are people, you do matter. There are people that can help you. It wasn't easy for me, but that doesn't mean that there can't be resources for you, especially with all these changes. They've started with the new PAC Act and some other different things that they have put out from the VA to make sure that other people have access. We just recently, not too long ago, the Vietnam vets and a couple of people are starting getting their benefits. They were treated terribly also.
Absolutely. Get spit on when they come back, and then they never want nothing. You talk to
Exactly.
Vietnam vets, they don't want nothing to do with the VA. And we don't know what that is, but man, that's a total wrong thing to think, because like, man, you sacrifice your whole life. You know what I mean? You should get what's given is what's right for you. So you talk to Vietnam vets, they might, I didn't never gone, or I got 10%, like 10%. In Vietnam, that doesn't even make sense.
And some people get stuck. Like when I first saw, I'm like, okay, 10%. Then somebody told me, an older vet was like, no, keep pushing. And every year you can increase, if it's aggravated and getting worse, especially as we get older, these symptoms get worse.
Absolutely.
You can go every year to get an increase. Yeah, if you don't know any better, you'll be just stuck with your 10% if you don't continue to push, right?
Absolutely.
So I think that's a big thing, not giving up. Yes, it's long, it's tedious. I mean, get with the DAV. Sometimes with the DAV, you might have to do your own research and present them with the paperwork. Sometimes they don't have access to all your records. Whatever you can find, whatever you can remember, or get with a counselor, somebody that can re-trigger your memory to bring you to get to all the paperwork, or at least get those buddy letters, those nexus letters, everything that you can find to help your claim. Please, get that. You have department, you have what is it called, so many different programs. You got Purple Heart, you have VFW, paralyzed veterans, all kinds of different organizations. Your local VA also has VSOs. Just make sure that you do the research, or if you need help, hit me up on LinkedIn.
Absolutely.
We'll try to do that. And journaling. If something's going on in the military while you're in, keep a journal and write your stuff down. You want to keep records of everything. So making sure that when you get out, you can write your claim, from injuries to anything that's going on with you in the military. Don't be scared to speak your truth, okay? Because like we talked about, me and you, let's talk about these old ideologies.
Let's go. Hey, hold on real quick though, but you hit on some good things that I just want to hit on too, and just double tap, because you're going to be the best advocate for yourself in life. It's not just talking about military. No one's going to care as much as you care about yourself. So you're absolutely right. We need to do our own due diligence. That's something I failed at when I was in, because I was so ready to leave. I was so young and naive, and I was like, I don't really care. I want nothing to do. But don't do that, guys. Don't, like, what do they say? Don't mad quit or something like that. Like, take your time, plan it out. Like, you plan everything else out in the military. So don't change that when it's time for you to get out. It's no difference. It's actually more important, because you're leaving what was paying you, what was telling you what to do, all that stuff. You're leaving all that, and you're going to be on your own. They're not going to send you a check after all that leave's cashed in. So yeah, just do what you got to do. But let's hit on those ideologies. I can't wait. I mean, let's say which one you want to hit on first. What you got? I already know which one you might say, but I'm going to let you say it, and I'll tell you if I'm right or not.
Oh, and you would know, but even before that, I wanted to talk about the last thing you were talking about. If you get out, also with retirements and points, make sure they got your retirement points out there correct. Make sure all of your stuff is squared away before you roll out. I know we get emotional, but listen, and us military, some of us got some deep anger issues, right? We gotta pipe that anger down and go into strategic mode and get into strategic planner and leadership. When it comes, you got to become the leader of your life and make sure that you make a strategical move when it comes to your transition. Ideologies.
Hold on, I'm about to say one more thing. Hey, if you guys are getting your paper, make sure. Yeah, you said keep a journal and keep copies of all your paperwork, because you don't know if they're still hiding them in the rafters or shredding them. So, hey, that's vital. Like, think about it. If you would have had nothing, they say, hey, you were in. I don't have nothing for you. Then what are you going to do? It's going to be a lot harder. It's not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be a lot harder recalling all those things that happen or getting those statements. But no, let's get into it.
For real. That's real talk. Ideologies. Okay, so it doesn't matter what branch you were in. Okay, we're all brothers and sisters at the end of the day. We'll go Army. But
I always gotta say that. Always.
But at the end of the day, okay, so a lot of us, I got in, they were like, the song was Be All That You Can Be in the army. Got me hyped up. I'm going to have the camaraderie, the community. Then it became Army of One, and you realized that you were by yourself. So it's you have you love the camaraderie with your battle buddies, your real ones that got your back, right? So you miss that. So just because you think, oh, I'm in the military, when I get out, I'm going to have the same camaraderie. It doesn't look the same. It does. Sometimes, even trying to connect with some of the old buddies can be hard too, because different mentalities, people change when they get out. They're not the same person when you're in the military. Another thing is this misconception they told us. They like, oh, and some people who were raised in like, foreign cultures or just, different parents that give us tough love, right? We were told to like, brush it off. You get hurt, bottle those emotions, push them down. The military told it even extra, like extra layers of shoving it down. What are emotions? You're just a shell, right? So they tell us these old ideologies like, oh, sick call, that's for the weak, man. Oh, you want to be a candy man?
You want her feelings report? Yeah, you want her feelings report. Take a knee, get ibuprofen, man. Tie your shoe, you broke your metatarsal. Get your ass in formation and get back in the formation. You're doing private. Get it back. Yeah, absolutely though. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I broke my second one. I felt like shattered glass, right? And they're like, oh, that's nothing. That's just mental, right? So like all these. They're telling you how you feel in your body. So right, all this stuff about like not going to sick call, that's for the weak. What are you crying about? And all these different things. Like, so they told us to bottle up our emotions. Then we get out into, the regular world and we don't know how to deal with our emotions anymore, right? Because we're like, what are those? So that's why definitely, you are a human being. Yes, we're soldiers, but remember, you're still a human.
Right.
So when you do get out, make sure you do get some kind of therapy because you went through a traumatic situation. Get some therapy, get the support, get a counselor, get what you need, and make sure that you find a community that you click with that works for you. But that whole ideology of you being weak, man, I don't care what it is. If your ears, if you can't hear sometimes, put that in your report.
Better.
Your knees are bothering you from jump school, put that in the report. Put everything in there. I don't care. Before you get out. Put
something. Yeah, as soon as it happens, really. But don't wait before, because you got to get that paper trail going just to make sure you get what's there for you. It's like don't wait till the end. Some people wait till the end and then it might, I don't know. But yeah, there's no sense of waiting.
Definitely. And we've been taught to go through our chain of command when situations happen and stuff. Sometimes you have to do your due diligence and you might have to go above the chain of command in order to do what you need to do to protect yourself. Okay. We've seen situations, and I'm not going to say every unit, but we've been advocating for the whole situation with Vanessa Gann. What happened over there in Fort Hood.
Right.
People getting assaulted and dying, not only females, but males also.
Absolutely.
And bodies are being found and stuff. And so at the end of the day, like, tell somebody, tell your family, tell somebody outside that can advocate for you when you feel like somebody is using a misuse of their authority. Okay. And yes, they have authority over you, but remember, you still have agency. In any unit you're on, don't ever feel like you're alone or you're trapped. You have agency. Okay. Or write your Congress member.
No, I was gonna say, call Congressman. I guarantee you're gonna hear something back before the end of the week. Exactly. Or like go to IG or go and I'm not gonna get into detail, but yeah, I've had to do that too. It's sometimes you think that people think that you're scared to speak out, and they think they're gonna fry you, right? Like they try to do you, and they try to do the same thing to me, and it's like, I got something for you because I got a little bit of a smarts. So let me go ahead and go down here and go use my legal aid, because you're right. You got lawyers in the military, and you have the right to a lawyer, to right to be to have the counsel, right? So sometimes you might have to do that. Is it uncomfortable? Sure, but it's your life. Are you going to let someone walk on you? Just because you're in the military doesn't mean you let people walk all over you.
Exactly.
Unless that's the type of person you are. And, and obviously you're not. Obviously I'm not. And sometimes that may get you pushback, but guess what? That's fine. That's life. It's just because someone has rank doesn't mean they can pounce on you and just walk all over you. And then try to flip the script and try to tell you get at parade rest while I push you up against this door, or let me call you a bitch because we played spades and you did something, and then I say, oh, you're not gonna call me that, and then you say, oh, you're gonna get a parade rest or something. I'm like, no, that ship sailed, dude. You're not gonna pull rank and just think you can be a RoboCop. But you're absolutely right. That's a good point to make. I don't think anyone's ever brought that up before. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Because some people, I'm sorry to say, some people were bullied outside of the military and got some power in the military, and now they want to be abusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
With their power, and not everybody is adequate to be in a position of leadership. Point blank. Some of them don't have the compare, and some of them don't exact emotional intelligence either. Because a lot of people are concerned with the mission, but who was driving the mission? The people, the humans behind that, right?
Right.
So at the end of the day, we want high productivity, right, to accomplish the mission. But you got too many soldiers dying, a suicide, and all kinds of different things, right?
Way too many.
Yeah. So how can we look at prevention versus the cure? Like, you got excellent soldiers; they'll do amazing things. They will die for their country. But at the end of the day, how are we taking care of our soldiers that are sacrificing their lives every single day, on and off the field? Come on now. Even a soldier, even if they're not on duty, if they see somebody in trouble or they're going to jump in, because that's what we were trained to do. A normal civilian isn't just going to do that.
Drive right by your ass.
Exactly. They're going to act like they didn't see it.
Hey, you see that over there? No, McDonald's. What you talking about? What? Yeah, you're right though. Absolutely.
Oh my God, I'm trying not to laugh, but for real, I've seen it. Like, it's crazy. Somebody get murdered right in front of you. They be like, "Oh, I ain't see nothing. I walked away." No, I saw somebody get stabbed in front of me and died, and I reported it because that's somebody's father or brother or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but yeah.
Those are heavy ideologies. I mean, that's absolutely what was going on. I was in 2007 to 2015, so absolutely it was all like that, and just sick call was frowned upon, to say the least. But you want to talk about some of the programs that you touched about on, like the dog? We don't have to do all of them, but like dog tag, or what about the skiing one? Talk about that one a little bit.
Okay, so Challenge Aspen is an amazing program. It has a camo program focused on the military component. So what they do is they sometimes they bring out the caregiver too. So, or they'll bring out couples. So it's the military veteran that dealt with some type of PTSD or some kind of disability, right? They bring you out there to Aspen, Colorado. Mind you, this is not a cheap trip, right? They send you out there, all expenses paid. You go out there, everything's taken care of. They teach you how to ski, how to build up your confidence. They help you with mental health, with yoga, with Emily. She's amazing. It used to be John that used to be the head. They have a new member there. They have all kinds of different things. You get to interact with all kinds of different veterans, a new community, connect, and then sometimes you end up being long-term friends afterwards, right? But they just give you a new chance on life. And the information is, you go to challengeaspen.org online, click on the camo program. Also send a list of resources to Michael so that he can send it out to his people. So that's one. And then there's another organization called Huts for Vets. That's like almost like camping. They send you out if you're into the outdoors. That helped me realize that I really love the outdoors a lot, and just getting my hands in the dirt. Not all military people still like outdoors, but some do. It makes you feel a little bit better. Hut for Vets is another organization. They're really good. Saratoga Warhorse program. They're out in upstate New York. Saratoga Warhorse gives you a program to do work with the horses to deal with anxiety and stuff. So you become a horse whisperer. And it's really good. So that's another great program. What's the other one I said? Dog Tag Bakery is INC. It's a great program out in Georgetown. So they have a bakery out there, but it also houses their school that partners with Georgetown University, and they also have another program online and in person out in Chicago. So they have a program, and they've graduated several different veterans from different backgrounds. It doesn't matter what race or creed or anything. It's all inclusive. They provide you a computer and other things that you need. They help you navigate life. They talk about your mental health. You can either decide that you might want to be into the bakery business. You might want to start your own business. You might want to just work on your mental health. There's a lot of connections with Price Water. Price Water. There's a lot of connections with a lot of different organizations. They help you learn how to interview, how to transition what you did in the military to the regular world. So it's a great program. I have been a mentor over there too. We've had a lot of successful veterans come out of there, like Erin, who was one of my mentees. She is doing amazing. She's a colleague now. She's yeah, Erin Roth. She's a
Erin, Miss Petite Sweets.
yeah.
I linked. I met her at Cornell. She came to like speak when I went, because I went to the EBV like 2018, and she came. I think she was a class before, but small world once you start getting into it, right?
Yeah, she's a celebrity chef now. She was on a TV show, and she has an amazing brick and mortar out in Virginia. So check that out and support her. Also, Gabby, Gabriella, has Organized Q, which is an executive personal assistant. She was another one of my mentees. She's doing amazing. She has been scaling up her business and providing jobs for a lot of mill spouses around this. And then we have Fallon, who's working at now she's becoming a new VSO at the DC Mayor's Office of Veterans Affairs. So a lot of the people have come out of the program doing amazing things. It's wonderful. And there's more. Cornell has amazing program. IVMF, amazing program.
Great, yeah.
Yeah. Now they've expanded into the political realm. If you want to get into political work, they also have the entrepreneur path. They got Boost to Business. They have so many different opportunities. I was able to, through another friend, connect and go through a Cornell program that was for entrepreneurship for women. But Cornell has a lot of programs that are sponsored. It's all about you. What do you want to do with your life?
Absolutely.
And how do you want to navigate that? And also being open to pivoting, right? As
That's
you know, 2020 hit with a lot of different people and organizations. They realized that they had to pivot, and broaden their horizon. So in your life, do you want to work on your mental health? Or do you want to work it on doing something your own way? And remember, a lot of times they told us, oh, these ideas were weird. Having a bar that has dog stuff in it, it's a success because people have dogs and they want to drink
dogs.
beer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they got dogs instead of kids now. Some people, so yeah, they want to have places to go, breweries. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So every idea, they say you can kill the man, but you can't kill the idea. So it doesn't matter how crazy you think the idea is, it can work because it has a place for somebody. So, there's so many different organizations. I'm going to send Michael a list of some resources I sent to a lot of my transitioning vets to help you. There's Rosie. There's a Rosie's network also for mill. Yeah, for mill spouses also. That's another great program to help you navigate. But there's a plethora of things in there, adding more Wounded Warrior program. I have to shout out to them because when I first got my house and my bill was high for my electric bill, they did help me pay. It's a one-time thing, but they have a lot of amazing programs for you through Wounded Warrior. They have changed their regime. But you have so many different programs. So just take advantage of what you can. And don't ever feel like you're a burden. I think that's another big thing. We feel because we've always supposed to hold on to everything. We're supposed to be the pillar of everything, and we're the leaders of our family. We're the leaders of our community, and we feel like we come off as weak if we say we need help. No, ask for help.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely right. You got to swallow your pride because everyone needs help in life. We're not going to do it ourselves. Come on now, don't be silly. But now, have you ever heard of Catch a Lift Foundation? I guess it's something. I gotta send my DD-214 in, but they were pretty responsive. It's one. They either help you. It's for physical fitness and mental health, I believe, and they either one, they give you a gym membership and help you devise a plan, or two, if you qualify and maybe you're disabled, they actually sponsor you for a home gym equipment. So that's something that I got to get my paperwork into. But yeah, like you said, there's just so many benefits. I mean, there was a tennis camp in San Diego, but it stopped because of COVID. I mean, if you just Google, if you just like start, go down the rabbit hole of stuff for veterans, you'd be amazed. There's actually another one. I'll send it to you. I think it's called Active Heroes Retreats, and it's in Kentucky, and you can actually get like a free 1 week stay in a cabin if you're a veteran,
Wow.
if you're a disabled veteran. So I think I booked it for October or something like that, and I think you got to put $50 down for a cleaning fee, and you get it refunded to you. So even if you had to pay $50, I mean, there's just a slew of benefits, like you said. I mean, what I would wish we could make an app or like something that just you literally, instead of scrolling on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you scroll through all the stuff you could do as a veteran. Oh wow.
All the benefits. See, I've been building a list and adding it from different people. So yeah, the stuff that you just I missed two other things. There's it's called Higher Ground. That's another one. I think they're out in Utah. Higher Ground also provides like skiing, and they also give you they do like scuba diving, bike rides, all those. And Wounded Warrior does that too. And Wounded Warrior has a fitness thing with Under Armour down in the Baltimore, their actual fitness center where you can go down there too, and they do virtual fitness. Also, iHoot is another program that I just recently tried. They will pay all your expenses for your stay. You pay like one something for them to hold it. You just pay for your flight over there, but you can stay up to 7 days at a resort.
What's that? Oh, is that the park thing that you tell me about?
No, this one is called this one is called iHoot.org. iHoot.org.
HOOT?
iHoot.org. And this is for veteran vacations. You can get a suite with yourself or your family. It could be for your birthday, whatever. And most of the biggest expense is paying for where you're going to stay. So they'll pay up to like 7 days or less just for your stay. And all you got to pay is for your flight there, and everything is taken care of.
I'm out tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm about to be gone. No, but for real, we need to get on a call one day and just like have a competition. Be like, all right, get your list. We're gonna go 1 for 1. What you got? What you got? No, because it's so many. I have more. I just don't even remember the name. There's one of them. There's one foundation you can go like on an Appalachian Trail retreat, and like it's supposed to be for mental clarity. But I got my son. I can't really go. I'm gonna be going in the woods for 3 months. But like for people that might need that, there's just so many. Oh, there's what's the other one? There's another one like when they fly to Washington D.C. I don't know what it's called, Honor Flight or something like that, or I forget. But someone told me about that too. But I think they're focusing on older veterans like Vietnam, like. To get them up there. But yeah, I'm gonna start. I gotta get my list together because I got a whole bunch of stuff in my email. But you made a good point. I need to get like a running Google Doc or a list going. That way I can send it out because like it's free. I mean, you're not withholding anything. Like I want anyone to know this information. That's why we're talking about it because it's available for all of us. You know what I mean? So.
And we want to get as many resources out there, because we went through our challenges. So finding that more resources. And Veterati is a great, if you're looking for a mentor, jump on there. It doesn't matter. It's for spouses and for veterans. So jump on there if you need help. But I'm gonna send you my list, whatever you have, I guess we can exchange. And
I'm gonna have to see your list first, and so I can build mine to like have one more than you and be like, here you go. I gotta get my list built up. But let's do it. I mean, why not?
And then we can create a directory. We find somebody that can build an app. I think that would be great.
Hey, Fiverr, like you said.
Yeah.
Just gotta find someone with a military background that believes in what we're doing. But no, I feel like that's a good goal to have because I feel like it could be like it's not going to take just me and you. It could take 5 other people that have 55 more benefits. So
exactly,
let's do it. Let's get it going.
But we're putting it out there to the people. You know what I'm saying? So
we put it out there.
Yeah, so if you feel like you want to jump on and help with this project, hit us up.
Hit us up. Let us know. Put it in there. Yeah, let us hit anyone up. Hey, did you ever use your school benefits?
I did. I got my bachelor's degree, but when I had a couple more stuff left, and that was okay. That's another issue.
What's that?
With the benefits. So sometimes they don't tell you with that you can also do invoke rehab, right?
Absolutely. Call it something different. It's called Veterans Readiness and Employment. But we talk about the same thing, but they don't pitch that to you for sure.
So they have a program where they can pay for if you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
they will give you all the exactly. They could do all of that, but they don't really try to promote it. Some of them try not to tell you that. And you're like, you find out, you're like, oh, I got all my equipment. I was like, how'd you get that? Oh, I went to They never told me that. But I still had a couple of more months left and I wanted to get a certification. They kind of tried to push me out so I couldn't get the certification. And
it's not funny. It's just I'm laughing because it's sad because I had a counselor too, and I'm like, hey man, what about the self-employment track? Nah, it's not gonna happen. What?
Yeah.
What? Who are you, dude? You never get started in the military, bro. You gonna tell me it's not gonna happen? Who are you, gatekeeper?
They do gatekeeper.
I want to cuss of crazy right now. Like what, dude? You got me screwed, man. Like, but obviously you had the same thing. It's like, dude, this isn't your money, man. Are you guys getting the grant money if you don't give it to a veteran?
They gotta be getting a bonus,
dude. Like, hey, if you don't go over 5% of the budget, we'll give you $2 extra a day. Like, come on, man. Clowns, dude. Yeah, but I learned about Voc Rehab. How'd you learn about it?
Oh, so another veteran. That's why I'm telling you. If you have any like veterans that have been there a long time ago that have been in this game, learn from somebody that's already been there. They will give you the deets. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I just started hanging around the older veterans, and they were giving me information. So I found out about it. I saw that I could apply. I think you only had to have like 70% at that time, or 10.
You only need 10%,
10%. And at that time, I think I had 70. So I applied and I looked on the stuff and I'm like, they give you hell, man. I'm telling you, like, you think you were treated like trash. And so it's like they give you hell. Like, I thank God I did get my bachelor's degree. But when I had a little bit of time, I could have literally got a certification that would have made me even more marketable. But they refused to do it. And they just exited me out without me even saying anything.
Gotta love the Voc Rehab, man. That's why you gotta really go in there with your ducks in a row and learn from people like us that have gone through and got shut down essentially. Hey, go in there. Hey, I got a business plan. You really want to be an entrepreneur? Hey, I got my whole business plan. I got all my financials. You know, I've been to EBV. I've done all this stuff. I got all this market research backing me. Here's what and guess what? If that doesn't work, you know how you get an answer? We're gonna call the congressman.
Exactly.
Why are you scared? They're gonna get an answer for you. You're just gonna let someone shut you down or what's supposed to be your job. Not me. I mean, not you. Obviously, you know. Like, come on.
But like just like how Michael said earlier, if you are going into, if I would suggest, this is an option. If you do go in with all of your paperwork, go to entrepreneur track, because everything you need for an entrepreneur, they already have it set. And the trajectory of how this world is moving right now, it is the time for the entrepreneur. Okay. Absolutely. You can get your degree. It's great. But how many people, honestly, is going to become obsolete?
It already is.
Obsolete.
Yeah.
It's obsolete. So it's not competitive. You're going to have multiple certifications in most places. Google are giving out free ones. So honestly, like, it's going to become obsolete. And then when you look at it, right. And the other thing that killed me, there were some veterans, not to say everybody, but there were some veterans that had 5 or 6 degrees through the Voc Rehab, and I'm like, I just tried to get a certification.
But they had different counselors, so they were getting fed all the good mojo while we getting shut down by someone that be a known stickler in the area. But how do they have that job?
Yeah, exactly.
You should have that type of job if you can't facilitate what a veteran needs, because that's what that program. Well, that program is essentially to get you back in the workforce. That's what people don't understand, so they don't give a damn about you going to be an entrepreneur. They want you to be a lab rat and go work for someone. Let me just not say it's not a bad thing to go work for somebody else. No, it's not. It's not bad. But guess what? Like, after World War I or II, I think they were saying like 45% of all small businesses were from veterans. Now it's like not even 4 or 5%. So what's really going on? So
majority it's veterans, and when we go to look at government contracting, who are in the government contracting? It's veterans.
All vets, yeah. I did that too. Yeah. Veterans.
So if you see the productivity, if you see what's coming out of there, then why wouldn't you invest more into the veteran community? And then also we look at the federal government too. You know, people don't talk about, there's some abuse when they see you're a veteran. Some people just get that tax write-off, but they don't always look out for the veteran. You know, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, they want to bring you on to get. That's what people don't. Oh man, they're all looking for veterans. Yeah, because they get tax incentives, guys. They're not looking. Chase Bank doesn't want you because you served in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they do because you have a good skill. You're going to be different than a normal civilian. And in regards to all those certs, I've talked to a couple people. I've talked to Dwayne. I talked to a couple other people, and they like get all that stuff before you get out. Have the military. Y'all wait. Don't wait. Even if you don't use it, okay. Hey, if you think you might want to go into IT, get your security plus, your A plus, your network plus, get all that stuff knocked out when you're in the service. Get it all done. Does it suck sometimes? Yeah. Do you might have to sacrifice not going out every weekend? Maybe so, unless you can get your work done. But it's going to pay dividends. If I could go back, I would max out my tuition assistance. I would have got at least a bachelor's degree in 8 years, if not a master's. It's not that hard. School online is really not that hard. It's kind of a joke, like you said. It's like it's like you go through the motions. It's not like if you want to go to Harvard, cool, then go to Harvard. But if you want to just get your stuff build all that stuff while you're still in it, just get it all paid for. Don't wait till you get out, because then you're going to be scrambling. And then guess what? Even if you have these certifications, if you don't have the experience, nobody wants you. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Or what you have, it's all we know. I know people. How you get all your certificates, you got all your certifications, you got your business degree, but you got no IT experience. But then you go get a job, doing something that's not even in the IT realm because you don't have any IT experience. But someone's got to give you a chance, but it's not always just going to fall upon your lap. So
exactly, that's why it's important. Like I'm the queen of networking. Use your LinkedIn access. See who's connected to who. Start researching these people. It's free. Yeah, get a cup of coffee. Find somebody that's connected to the individual you want to work. Start networking to really make yourself marketable. Marketable isn't just about all the degrees. How do you sell yourself at the end of the day? And how do you make yourself viable? And how do you look like an asset to this individual's company? And mind you, there's younger and younger organizations and startups coming out that are really about to redefine how we look at the market for business and also the culture of employee and employer. What does that look like in the near future? And I would suggest right now, if you're in IT, cybersecurity is expanding, but this AI, if you can understand AI, if you understand how it functions, how you network with it, how you use it to solve solutions, you are in the money. So I would suggest if you can do artificial intelligence or any type of IT and some cloud computing, yes, it's cute. It's cool for right now. It's going to become obsolete. It's going to be, they're going to find another form after cloud.
AI is going to be doing the cloud computing, right? So it's like it's going to just evolve. So yeah.
Exactly. So if you can find or you can get into any type of classes that are dealing or getting certified, it's still experimental right now. But get into anything that you can step in and advance in AI, because right now, if you're in the military, try to do 3 steps ahead, Absolutely. And look at the market. Even use that Chat GPT and say, hey, what's going to be in the market in 2026 before I get out?
Make sure you connect it to the new internet, on their version 4 or something like that. But yeah, that thing's amazing. The world's evolved. I mean, and it's going to keep going. So you got to keep up with times. It's not the same thing as you got to get in you can find everything at your fingertip. You could probably hit up I've hit up Chat GPT and be like, what are the benefits for a veteran? Just our topics of discussion. Yeah. And it gives you valid stuff. I mean, you still got to do your, do your check. You're good. But so what's something that you wish you would have known before you get out the military, or a couple things, or like, or let's put it like this. What would be something that you would tell the old you or people that are still in, minus that everything we've touched on? Anything that we haven't hit on that you would want them to know before they get out?
The old me, if I could tell my youngest version of Mo, stick to your guns and go and really advocate for yourself before you leave out. Don't let them put fear in your heart. Advocate for yourself. That's all I can say. If you're in the military, advocate for yourself and don't give up. Okay. I know it might sound, cliche, but please don't give up on yourself. They might intimidate you, say all kinds of different things, but remember, you have agency. You are never stuck.
Absolutely. No, that's great advice. What's one word to sum up your military experience? You got one?
It was transformative.
Okay. All right. What was your favorite Army meal?
The vegetarian MREs.
I was a cook, so yeah. But you're right, though. People have a bad perception, but I met some of the most badass soldiers I've ever met were cooks. I don't give a damn what nobody says, because ain't no one know how to go in there and slave yourself away in the kitchen on top of still soldier. We're all soldiers first, don't matter what your MOS is. So you can get gotten lost with all that. But vegetarian MRE, a lot of people said chili mac. I would say no MREs for me. I say open all, get all the candy, and eat the pound cake.
Yeah, the vegetarians always had the good stuff inside of it, but it did send you to the bathroom. The one thing I never miss is those freaking latrines. Oh my God, it smelled like ammonia.
Yeah.
All the writings on the wall.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember I saw a clean one, right? Porta potty. I went in it and I was like, wow, these exist?
What you're supposed to be like? Oh wow, like nice. That's why. Like
no, let me ask you a question. What is one thing after getting out the military, right, that you value like so much, like that you value so much that you're like, wow.
Man, just freedom. Freedom. Like you can't quit them. You're not quitting the military if you want to quit them. You sign them damn years, you're gonna do that, or you're gonna get dealt with accordingly, and then you're gonna set yourself up for failure. So just the ability to have freedom, like, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get a UCMJ if you tell someone how it is or something like that, or I'm not gonna get Article 15 if I leave this job today just because these people are treating me like garbage. You know what I mean? So is that the best way to do business? Absolutely not. But you shouldn't do something that you hate either, or that you dislike. Why do something? There's a million jobs out here. So I would say freedom. What about you?
Oh, it's a couple of things that, I mean, freedom was one, but I really value taking a shower. Like being able to get real hot and cold water. Yeah. Like I value, if I can get a good shower, I'm excited about that. And being able to sleep on a decent bed.
Oh God, yeah, a cot or something like that. God bless. Yeah, those are good. And then I get what else? I don't know. Those, yeah, and just yeah, those are good ones too. Just like being grateful for what we have, and even in this country, to be honest with you, just like go other places and you see people that have absolutely nothing. So just to be able to be somewhere, and I mean, this is where people come to make their dreams a reality. It's just a matter of us doing it. The people that are still serving, or you guys get out, just do whatever you guys want to do. There's plenty of resources out here for you to make you successful. Don't think you're out here alone, because that's an easy excuse. I'm all alone here in Florida. Get on the damn Zoom, man. We're all connected on the web. Like, get on Facebook. Everyone's got a phone. Everyone's got social media. Like, connect, reach out. I mean, I used to always be like, man, nobody ever hits me up. But it's like, maybe I'm the one that's supposed to be the conduit and get people to pull together. That's what I've sort of just built my mentality on now. Maybe I'm the one that's supposed to, hey, what you good? Everyone, even if they don't answer, or what's the worst thing someone's going to do? They're not going to answer you, or they're going to say, sorry, I can't help you. But, like you said on LinkedIn, reach out, because I've reached out for plenty of jobs, and hey, whoa, appreciate you reaching out. I can't really help you, but let me get you over to a recruiter that can, or hey, no problem, let me see your resume. So it's like, if you don't ask, you're never going to get fed, right? So, don't be scared to open your mouth.
Yeah, I think that's a big one right there. And find groups. They got so many groups now, like Facebook. Everywhere they got this new thing, this new social media thread or whatever, Threads.
Yeah,
kind of beat what's the name? Twitter. Yeah, you got Instagram. You got all these different social platforms, or just go out to like your neighborhood little social gathering places that people hang out at, and connect. Like, don't be scared. There's somebody that just loves your presence, okay? And absolutely, they're going to connect with you. So there's always somebody out there for somebody, and you never know. You're one person away from your blessing. Just ask.
Absolutely. And don't remember, your network is your net worth. So no wonder you got to be that queen of marketing or the king of marketing, whatever you want to call yourself. But yeah, just get out there and experience life after the military. There's more life to live, and it's people don't say that like the grass is greener, or like, oh, be scared. Like, what are you going to do? There's plenty of stuff out here to do. And even if you don't know what to do, like, get your school lined up, go get your voc rehab. Like, you can actually now use voc rehab. They passed a law a couple of years ago. You can now use voc rehab before your GI Bill, and then you can use your GI Bill after, or vice versa. It used to be like if you use your GI Bill, you would only have a couple months left of voc rehab because it would intertwine, but now it's totally separate. So for instance, like me, I use like a month or two of my GI Bill, but then I learned about voc rehab through networking and in school. I got voc rehab, so I got my bachelor's in with my voc rehab, but now I'm going for my master's in business with my GI Bill, and I'm still going to have time left. And I plan on using every dime, every day of benefits for school because why not?
And you're doing it the right way. So people work. Oh, I need to work. No, that's your job. What he just said, that's your job. Focus on your education.
You get paid to go to school.
You're paying you to go to school, so that's your job. Don't worry about anything. Don't allow yourself to be stressed about anything. Just focus on that. If you have the opportunity and you qualify for it, do that. And then network and connect with the people. And you never know. You still have a network in the military too. So some of those people get out and they own their own businesses and stuff. Reconnect with some of those people. And you never know who you can connect with though. But yeah. And every setback is a setup for a step up. Even though sometimes we feel like, oh, life isn't going our way. Sometimes the universe is helping us or preventing us for something that might be even worse. So, and they might be sending you some bigger blessings. So, trust the process. And remember, things are going to eventually come your way, but you just have to stay away from things that are distracting you, right? And focus on your own mental health and your wellness, because that comes first. We can't be giving everybody our oxygen when we need it first, right?
Absolutely not. That's why it took so long to get on the podcast. I was like, I gotta help myself before I can help someone else. But you're absolutely right. And you want to say anything else? I really appreciate everything that you shared today, and being vulnerable and just being honest. And I'm sure your words and all your experience is going to help other veterans, as you've already been doing. So I just appreciate you and everything that you've done in the veteran community, and look forward to building our app here soon.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate you, Michael, for this amazing, wonderful, informative podcast, and I pray that everyone supports him, and reshare this program. And if you need help, please reach out to suicide prevention line, which Michael has all that information. If you want to reach me, or you want to just have a veteran to talk to, or you need mentorship, or you want to check out some of the wellness programs I have, you can reach me at www.loveenergyservices.com. loveenergyservices.com. On Instagram is Love Energy Services. Facebook is Love Energy Services. Or you can email at loveenergy19@gmail.com. Or you can contact me personally at mojisola.edu@gmail.com. And nothing is a crazy question. Ask me and I'll help.
All right. Sounds good. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you guys listening in. I hope you have a blessed day. Until next time, keep going. Never give up. Talk to y'all later.